Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. This quote is one of my favorites by Theodore Seuss Geisel, or better known to most as Dr. Seuss. What I love about this quote is it captures the influence he has had on the world throughout his words and actions. Theodore Seuss Geisel constantly tried to better things he cared about and made many lasting effects. I was captivated by Dr. Seuss books as a child, and now, while reading them to my own son, I'm even more intrigued by the man behind the pen name. I have researched Theodore Seuss Geisel and much of his work even beyond the famous Dr. Seuss books. I'll be taking you through a few different writings he has done, a stand he took during World War II, and the lasting impression the books he's written have had on the world. Theodore Seuss Geisel, like I said, is most known for his children's books. But he in fact wrote under multiple pen names, Theo Lessig and Rosetta Stone. And even the most famous pseudonym, Dr. Seuss, wasn't originated for writing children's literature. It in fact came about while he was in college and writing for the magazine Jack o' Lantern. At Dartmouth, he was the editor in chief for this magazine, but ended up breaking code by drinking with his friends and got caught doing so. The dean made him resign from the magazine, and Theodore agreed to do so, but he continued to contribute to this magazine by signing everything with the pen name Seuss. After finishing at Dartmouth, Theodore started his career as a cartoonist, which he said always came easier to him than actual writing. He got published in many magazines, and his most famous cartoon ads were for the oil company, and this lasted him a career for over 15 years. While in this career, Viking Press asked him to illustrate some children's collection books. The books sold very poorly, but nudged open a door into children's literature. And I do say nudged because the first actual book he wrote for children, and to think I saw it on Mulberry Street, was rejected 27 times before it was finally published in 1937. And even this being published didn't fully take off his career. Instead, World War II just began, and Theodore was determined to help that war effort. He joined the Army and was placed in an information and education division, where he made many propaganda and training films. This earned him the Legion of Merit. But even more astounding than that is that Theodore drew over 400 political cartoons and posters. And these posters had such a style that intrigued a younger audience and got that crowd involved and informed about the war effort. Many of his cartoons can now be found in a book called Dr. Seuss Goes to War. But as the war ended, Theodore returned to writing children's books, and the true turning point of his career was here. A Life magazine article came out, and it claimed that children's illiteracy was due to the boring Dick and Jane books, that children didn't want to read them, therefore weren't learning to read. Theodore used a list of 250 words that school children should know and started writing an entertaining book children could learn to read from. This book became the famous Cat in the Hat. And this was wildly successful. It was flying off the shelves, and children were completely captivated by it. In fact, they're still captivated by it, and the writing style in general is still wildly successful. Theodore ended up writing a total of 44 children's books, each of them as entertaining as the next, and also providing a moral that he believed in. For example, he's touched on anti-discrimination in Horton Hears a Who, materialism in The Grinch, self-acceptance in The Gertrude McFuzz, and even Marvin Gaye Mooney touches on Richard Nixon and the Watergate scandal, which he won't admit. But will confirm that Yertle the Turtle is about Hitler. Many of these morals have not only educated children, but prompted changes in events. His birthday, March 2nd, is now recognized as Read Across America Day. There's scholarship made in his name, inspiring college students to use unique writing styles called Oh the Places You'll Go Scholarship. And his book, The Lorax, has inspired a foundation to help save and protect forests and endangered species. It is in fact called the Lorax Project. Also, this book directly inspired some change from the line, I hear things are just as bad up in Lake Erie. After the book was published and gained so much fame, the Ohio Sea Grant Program began cleaning up Lake Erie and, in fact, wrote to Theodore himself about how much their conditions have improved. Impressed, Theodore removed the line from his book and it didn't appear in any future editions of the book. So, as you can see, Theodore Seuss Geisel has largely influenced and inspired many causes. His war efforts and unique children's literature have both been used as foundations for change. Theodore Seuss Geisel has proven his words to be true. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not.